RFP 185766, titled the Rental Escrow Program. Today is June 16th of 2025. Just a brief overview of how the pre-bid process works. To let everyone know, this call is being recorded. Please state your name, company, organization that you represent, and your contact information. Place that in the chat. All bidders or everyone in attendance here today is encouraged to ask questions. You may enter them into the chat at any time. Please note that all verbal responses to questions provided today are unofficial until documented in writing as official responses in the supplier portal, also known as Oracle. Please submit any additional questions in the supplier portal and we will respond via Oracle as well. The agenda for today will have a brief project background provided by myself. I am Ashley Franklin of OCP. A scope of work overview by Whitney Smith of HRD. A brief overview of minimum qualifications by Whitney Smith of HRD, as well as key response items by myself. And then we will open the floor for questions and answers. Project background. The City of Detroit Office of Contracting and Procurement, better known as OCP, on behalf of the Housing and Revitalization Department, HRD, requests proposals from qualified respondents to render certain technical or professional services as set forth in this RFP to provide co-management of the City of Detroit's rental escrow program. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to our department experts from HRD to give you a overview of the scope of work.
Thank you, Ashley. So the rental escrow program will support tenants who are facing issues with their rental housing, such as lack of essential repairs, unsafe living conditions, or a certificate of compliance. The rental program will provide tenants with a safe and secure place to escrow their rent funds until their rental property conditions are repaired or the property comes into compliance. The program will facilitate secure and transparent management of rental payments. The city anticipates that the program would involve a high volume of payment transactions into and out of accounts, typically at a relatively low dollar amount that must be processed quickly to ensure transparency and ensure landlords have access to their escrow funds. The funds must be held in accordance with local, state, and federal regulations related to escrow management, including compliance with relevant components of Consumer Financial Protection Bureau regulations. As the scope document outlines, the program will be operated under a co-management model. Operation responsibilities will be shared between HRD and the selected service provider. The RFP does a great job of detailing how each of the program components will be operated under this co-management model. And before I wrap up my scope overview, I just want to emphasize the importance of respondents to ensure that there is, again, compliance with state, local, and federal regulations related to escrow management. It is critical that payments are processed timely and quickly. Those payments also need to be secure, and there should be transparency around payments. The vendor is expected to maintain an accounting platform where tenants and landlords can track payments, view account payments, and ensure proper handling of funds. The vendor is also expected to generate regular detailed financial reports for the city, landlord, tenants, again, ensuring transparency and accountability. And again, the vendor should ensure that accessibility is core to the program and our co-management operation to ensure all unique segments of Detroit's population are served. This includes our unbanked population in the city, the segment of Detroit population that lacks internet access, as well as our non-English speaking residents or those with disabilities. And so that is an overview of our scope. And I can turn to our minimum qualifications. So respondents must demonstrate 3 years of experience managing escrow accounts or a similar fiduciary responsibility. They should also provide references listed under Attachment A. They should have experience contracting with large public entities and must provide a reference under Attachment A. The respondents need to provide financial statements, 3 to 5 years, showing their financial solvency. They must also show their ability to secure a bond to protect escrow funds, as well as liability insurance. And respondents must also be in good legal standing with the state and no history of disbarment from government. It is also expected that all funds are held by a financial institution that meets the following requirements. The institution should have compatibility with the ability to contract with the city's payment kiosk network, DivDat, or similar entity that is able to receive cash deposits securely over a large network of convenient locations. The financial institution also should have the ability to maintain escrow funds in accordance with federal, state, and local laws, which includes separating funds. Funds may be separated in separate accounts or can use a master account with sub-account model. Again, the institution must be in compliance with Consumer Bureau protections, specifically 1024.17 in terms of escrow accounts. The institution should also be FDIC insured and again have the ability to secure a fidelity bond to protect escrow funds as well as liability insurance.
Thank you for that overview of the scope and the minimum qualifications, Whitney. Before I move forward to the project timeline, Chelsea or Talicia, do you guys have anything that you would like to add or any important notes that you feel like the respondents should know?
I think Whitney covered it. Thank you so much for asking. I think the previous RFP that was issued, I just want to lift up the additional minimum qualification, which is underlined and bolded there, related to the escrow funds being held by a financial institution. So just a flag for any respondents to please revisit the minimum qualifications.
Thank you.
And I have none at this time. Thank you.
I just want to reiterate to all respondents or potential respondents that it is very vital for you to read the RFP in its entirety. There's a lot of information there listed, things that one would need to know to be able to successfully co-manage and operate this program. So it's important that you read from beginning to end and really make sure that you understand those minimum qualifications because that will play a big factor in determining who our vendor in this case will be. So moving forward to our project timeline, the original advertisement date, we've had some changes and some addendums issued since, but we originally advertised this RFP May 19th of 2025. Your questions are due via Oracle June 19th by 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your proposals are due June 25th, 2025 by 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will share a work schedule once we obtain City Council approval. Key response items. Attachment A is mentioned in your minimum qualifications. This is where you will list those references that we spoke of. Attachment B, your proposal, introduction, and solution and approach. C, pricing. D, your standard City of Detroit forms, affidavits, and documents. And E is just a sample of a professional services contract that we used here in OCP. At this time, we will open the floor for questions and answers.